You were one of the founding members of the Cannabis Caucus earlier this year. Can you provide an update on that? Have any new members joined? Have you met? Has there been any progress made?
So what a difference. You know, when I first went to Congress, it's over 8 years ago now, I was one of the few people talking about this, and all the other members of Congress would kind of look at you strangely, and it actually was treated as a joke a lot. I found I would make an argument about marijuana legalization, and people just wouldn't even refute it. They would just laugh, thinking it was somehow funny. And we've come to the point where it's an official caucus and a bipartisan caucus, where we have, you know, these otherwise kind of stodgy Republican co-chairs, and we have our Democratic chairs, and we're holding briefings on Capitol Hill, and all of a sudden on both sides of the aisle, we haven't won everybody over yet, but they're certainly treating it as a serious issue, and more people are coming into agreement as they simply look at the evidence.
Given the overhang of this administration, you know, in which there's been language used that harkens back to the drug war era, can the Cannabis Caucus flex its muscles in such a way to influence policy?
We're going to need to. I mean, the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, harkens back to kind of the reefer madness era. That's his attitude about marijuana. He even equated it to heroin in a statement. Absolutely ridiculous. When I hear from veterans and others in our district who have avoided getting caught up in opioids by using medical marijuana to manage their pain, and I think that it can be not the entire solution, but part of that solution to this scourge of opioid addiction that often starts with prescription painkillers. So will the Cannabis Caucus, members of Congress, find their backbone? Absolutely. I think you know, there's a consensus that at least we shouldn't have any kind of mass enforcement action against the states. If Jeff Sessions attempts that, I hope we'll have to contend with many of us, certainly myself, but I think enough Republicans and Democrats would say, look, you need to stick to the federal responsibilities. This is a state role.
There's plenty of uncertainty swelling after statements made by Sean Spicer, Jeff Sessions, and others in the administration. Have you personally heard anything from this administration?
Zero. And not only on marijuana. One of the top items that me and my Republican and Democratic colleagues are worried about is we don't know the position of this administration on so many issues. This is one of them, where we don't know. We're trying to read the tea leaves. Jeff Sessions said this. He had it in the same sentence as heroin. Donald Trump on the campaign said it's up to states. Are they working on a policy behind closed doors that could put legal Colorado business owners in jail? Are they going to threaten our medical marijuana card holders in our state whose names are on file just, you know, a couple hundred yards from where we're doing this interview? We don't know. And we need that certainty, which is why I'm so focused on providing that certainty through congressional action and through continuing to badger and push the administration to come out with clarity on where they stand.
Now let's say you ran into Attorney General Sessions while walking on Capitol Hill. What would you say to him? I would point out the imperative for Colorado, but also for states where over 60% of the American people live, that they get with the times, look at the data, and allow the states the room to come out with the right way to regulate marijuana. And that's not where he is today, but the more he hears it, the more people he hears it from, the better. And he needs to catch up from the age of reefer madness to the 21st century. We've got to bring him there over the course of the next few months.